Hi, I am Xanadu from Xanadoodles, and I am using this video as a quick introduction to myself, and you guys get to watch as I finish my illustration of my avatar that I'm using on my social media accounts. I thought it would be just kind of a fun way for you to kind of get a visual of what I look like while I explain who I am, what I do, where I'm from, how I got here, musings on trying new things. I am a Utah-based artist, and I have been doing art essentially since the day I was born. Doesn't mean that I am the most amazing artist that has ever lived, but it's something that's always been important to me. It's something I've always done. And in high school, I was always that kid with the sketchbook and was constantly drawing, and that it was just kind of my thing. But I never was doing it necessarily to become an artist. I never would have called myself an artist in high school. I was the kid who liked to draw. I like to sketch, that sort of thing. And I was never really trying to progress. I wasn't ever really trying. It was just a lot of me doing something that I love, but never really putting myself out there. It was always just, this is what I do, and I'm not trying to be a stellar artist. It's just, it makes me happy. And with that mindset, I never actually really took any art classes in high school. I took one my senior year, and it was AP Art. It was supposed to be a full year, and I only took it for a trimester. The teacher was really chill and let me join the class but not really do any of the assignments. I don't know. Super cool guy. I really enjoyed it. I didn't feel like I was out of place in the class, which I fully expected to just feel like a fish out of water. All these kids had been doing art classes for years, and I hadn't. But it felt fine. It felt like something I could do. And I had taken some art classes outside of school. My mom had signed me up for a colored pencil class, which was really meant for like 10-year-olds, but I still had a good time, and so it was fine. And I also, as a junior in high school, did an oil painting class, and it was one of my mom's friends who was teaching it. And that class was like for 60-year-olds, and I was 16. But it was fine. I love that class too. I actually really ended up enjoying oil painting. I haven't done it since then, but man, is that a forgiving medium. After high school, I went to college without really any plans for what I wanted to do. I thought about doing biology. I thought about doing vet school. I thought about doing archaeology or anthropology. And so I just went and was taking all of these general classes. And this idea struck me. It's like, I like art. I know I'm not the best, but I like it. So what if I just take all of these random art pieces I have, put them together, create a portfolio, submit it to the art department, and let them decide whether or not I'm an artist. If they accept it, I'm an artist, and I get to have a degree in art. If they don't accept it, no skin off my nose. I'll just go be a biologist. It's fine. And to this day, I am shook that they accepted this portfolio. I mean, it was not an impressive portfolio, but they accepted it, and that day I became an artist. At least it was in my head. At the time, I always was telling myself, I'm not that good, I don't have a lot of talent in this, that I really should know my place, that I'm not going to do illustration, I'm not going to do painting, I'm not going to do drawing, but I do think I can do graphic design. I think that I have the drawing abilities that are suited to graphic design, and I liked the idea of it because you get hired to do graphic design. People will bring you into their company, they'll tell you what to do, you get paid for it, win, win, win. But it was fine, except for the part where I was giving myself a lot of excuses to myself. I was giving excuses to myself for not trying because I was so scared of failing. just this debilitating fear of, if I take a drawing class and I'm not the best one in the room, people will know and they'll question why I'm here. And quite frankly, it's none of their business. Hindsight is 2020, and I wish I could go back and be like, you know what, you take these classes and enjoy them and have a good time. But I didn't. And it's okay. I don't regret getting a degree in graphic design. In fact, I really, really enjoy graphic design. It's something that I feel like I'm good at and that got me my first job out of college. And it was a really good job. I was an artist for a yearbook company, and I did covers, and I would draw kids' mascots breaking through walls, and I had the best coworkers. I absolutely adored this job, but once again, I used this job as a crutch to quit trying. I had the job. I didn't need to get better. I had the job. I didn't need to prove to myself that I could do new things or that I could try new things. I had it in my head that this was the best I could ever do, that I shouldn't expect more than this because I was nobody special. I had nothing to offer other people. And I think that in general, people do this to themselves a lot. That you have this idea that you aren't the best. And if you aren't the best, you shouldn't even try. That unless I am the greatest illustrator in the world, I won't be successful. It's this amazing idea that if you aren't the best at what you do, you can't succeed. And that's not true, because I can tell you right now, you will never be the best at something. Someone will always be better than you, because quite frankly, it's subjective. You could put two equally talented people side by side, and 50% of the people would say one person's better and 50% of the other people would say the other person's better. And because the planet is full of people with opinions, there's a place for everyone. There's a place for you specifically. But you have to be willing to try. You have to be willing to get over this idea that if I fail, I have failed. Failing doesn't mean that you've failed. Failing doesn't mean that you're done, that you're at the end of your road. Failing means that you get to take that failure and add it to the pile. And eventually, your pile of failures is going to be so big that you're going to succeed. You're going to get to the top of that pile of failures, and you are going to get that success. Success is always built on failure. Success doesn't get to be built on a pile of successes. It's not the way things work. You have to struggle. You have to work at it. And you have to believe in yourself. And it's never too late to try something new. You never have to feel like I've waited too long. That you can't do something because you're no longer in the prime demographic. So what? It doesn't matter. Do it. Try, because you never know if you're going to succeed or not if you don't give yourself the chance to succeed. My case in point for this whole thing is right here. This video has been such a trial. This is something that I never thought I could do. I never believed that it was something that I could do, because I am an average, adequate artist, that there was no point in me even trying, that I'm just going to get washed away. And I might. But that's part of the failure. That's part of building this up. And I decided that I was going to do art from home. I decided that this was something that I wanted to do, and that I was willing to try, and that I was willing to fail, and that I was willing to try something new. I tried this video. I downloaded a screen capture app, and I went into it without looking at what I needed to do, and I only screen capped the upper left corner for most of the drawing. and I had to throw it away. So no, you can't see it because it like literally didn't get captured. So I was able to get the rest of the video recorded and imported into Blender. And I'm using Blender, which is a 3D animation program. I get that, but it has a video editing portion of it. And I have to use that because I don't have the money for Adobe Premiere Pro. So I'm using this open source program that doesn't have a ton of documentation. It's just part of the nature of the beast with these open source programs is there's just not a lot of tutorials for it. So you just kind of have to piece it together and make it work. And man, was this a learning process. I have slaughtered this file, guys. It is a hot mess. But it came together, and I'm counting this as a success. The video has video, it has audio, it has an intro and an outro, and I think it's good. And the best part is I get to put a stamp on it and call it done. I think a lot of times we get so worked up with the idea of perfection and that I can't let anyone see it until it's the Mona Lisa, which, speaking of personal opinions, I don't love that painting. So there. So unless we feel like it's perfect, we can't put it out there. And that's not true. And we're really hindering ourselves by giving the impression that we can't finish something. Finish it, call it done, put a sticker on it, kick it out the door, you're done. And allow yourself to move on and try something new. I really appreciate you guys watching this, listening to me ramble and introduce myself a little bit. If you are interested in watching me fail a lot, like and subscribe. And hopefully every once in a while you might just get the chance to see me succeed.